Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Garcia, and I'm a coordinator in New Student Connections here at the University of South Florida. New Student Connections, or NSC, is a resource to support you throughout your time as a Bull, whether by connecting you to resources to help with academics or helping you to build community and make friends. I'm very excited to welcome you to our How to College virtual chats, where we hope you'll be able to learn more and get your questions answered regarding a number of academic and institutional topics. The first pal that will be joining us is Gabe, who's a third-year student majoring in history and international studies. Gabe is joined by Ebony, who's also a third-year student majoring in biomedical sciences. Take it away, y'all.
Thanks, Rick. Like you said, I'm Gabe, and I'm excited to be here with you. I'm a third-year student majoring in history and international studies, and I'm from Tampa, Florida. Today, we'll be learning more about all things student organizations, including how to find a student organization that aligns with your interests, optimizing student organization virtual events, and some tips and tricks for navigating BullSync. But by the end of this session, you will all have some great tools and information for getting involved in a student organization at USF.
That's right, Gabe. My name is Ebony, and I'm a third-year student here majoring in biomedical sciences with a minor in Spanish, and I'm from Warner Robins, Georgia. I don't know about you all, but I'm very excited to learn more about all things tapping into student organizations. We have someone here today with us that is an expert on campus when it comes to this topic. So please allow me to introduce Kaylin Burns. She's the coordinator of student organization development in the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement. We'll be in great hands learning more from her.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabe and Ebony, for the warm introduction. I'm very happy to be here with all of you this evening. So welcome to Tapping into Student Organizations. As Gabe and Ebony shared, today we're going to talk about what are student organizations at USF and just ways to optimize all of the opportunities that you have with our 700 student organizations on campus. And we're also going to introduce BullSync, which might be something that some of you are familiar with. So I wanted to start off by giving a little overview of the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement. So our office is divided into two spheres. So leadership, which focuses on building strong leaders, just like the pals that you see today, and our student organizations, which is where I come in terms of managing all of them, our designers that work with them to advertise events, and organization training and development. So I wanted to start off today by asking for all of you who are here today, what types of organizations are you looking to get involved in here at USF? So feel free to type in the Q&A, your response, and we'll go through some of those whenever you're ready.
Looks like we've got one student sharing they're interested in getting involved with sports clubs. Someone else is interested in multicultural organizations. We have someone interested in academic organizations. Community service just came up as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rick, for reading those responses, and thank you so much for those of you who did share what you're looking to get involved in. Just to go over some benefits of involvement, I'm so excited to hear that you all already seem to have in mind what you're looking to get out of your student organization experience. We will go a little bit deeper later into all of those categories, and there's definitely something for all of you in terms of all of the interests that you shared. But being involved gives you the opportunity to meet like-minded people with those same interests and values. It's also a chance to expand your views and your experiences, so really elevating the things that you were interested in at previous institutions or in high school into a new experience that you can optimize here at USF. And this is actually proven that involved students are more likely to be successful students, so higher GPA, on-time graduation, job and internship placement, while also feeling a sense of belonging and connection to the community. So some of you might be familiar with USF's student engagement platform, BullSync, but today I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks about BullSync because that's really where you're going to start your student organization experience. So the best way to find a student organization is to log on to usf.edu/BullSync. It's the same login credentials that you use for everything USF. So this gives you the opportunity to search not only organizations, but events that are happening virtually right now. So using the search bar will give you the opportunity to use keywords or names or categories to see things that are going to be of interest to you. So that could be a virtual upcoming event like this one, or that could be leadership opportunities. But today we're really going to focus on how do you narrow down 700 student organizations into the ones that are really aligning with what you're looking for out of your experience. So narrowing your organization search. 700 is a very overwhelming number. There's a lot of opportunities to get involved here on campus, and I think what is most important is to really understand who you are and what you're interested in and what you value. How can you deepen your understanding of your identities or understand things that you're interested in and expand upon those like we talked about a little bit before? But understanding your level of commitment is also going to be important because when searching BullSync, all of the meeting times and all of the links to get onto those Microsoft Teams meetings during this virtual environment will be shared. So you'll have the opportunity to see, hey, can I really fit this into my schedule? Or is this going to be an opportunity that I'm really going to be able to commit to? Also, what types of experiences are you looking for? And are there opportunities to step outside of your comfort zone? So take on an opportunity that maybe you didn't try before. And what communities might you already be a part of? So these are identity groups that you already are a part of or that you already identify as yourself. What can you join here to really optimize on those things that you hold close to yourself? So when exploring organizations, like I said, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but BullSync has the opportunity to search through categories. So I just put an example of music as an interest of mine personally. So you can type that right into the search bar at the top there, and then you can search a little bit more in depth using our categories feature. So organizations are categorized on their own, so that means that they get the chance to really represent exactly who they are through these categories. So you can click academic and professional, which goes to folks who might be interested in music education. And you can see that top one is Collegiate Musicians Association. So using that will give you the opportunity to really simplify your org search because again, I know it can be a little overwhelming just scrolling through and trying to read all of these descriptions and figure out which one is best for you. So the categories we talked about before include a long list, but I wanted to include just some of them so you can hopefully start to get excited about some of the things you're seeing. So academic organizations, we have our campus-wide organizations like our campus activity board, councils, we have fraternities and sororities here as well that are listed on BullSync, honor society, organizations that are international and multicultural, political, recreational, religious. There's a community service piece for those of you who are interested in that. We also have social justice and special interests, which will be your more fun social organizations. Then we also have a really robust group of sport clubs. So if you were into your intramurals in high school, this is exactly where you're going to be taking those academic and athletic interests. So you find an organization that you like, now what? So contacting organization leadership is so easy, and it really takes away the anxiety of having to, maybe walk up to a table. I know that personally I'm a little bit more introverted sometimes, so I love this feature for those of you who want to reach out virtually and still get connected. So you can join an organization by hitting that blue button that you see on the screen there. It will automatically add you to their roster, so any updates or any meeting links they'll send right in there and you will be in the loop right away. But if you have additional questions, I always recommend reaching out to the student organization president first, just so that they know that you're a new member and you're wanting to get added to any group chats or anything that they have going on already. So you can hit that contact form and send a personalized message to that president. The message looks like this, just a little example I wrote, "Hi, I'd love to get more information about your organization," and it connects right to the president's email. So it's a very easy way to just get connected right off the bat. There's tons of different topics that you can choose from. I chose interested in getting involved, which hopefully you all will be choosing as well, and will be sent directly to them, and then your information will be on their radar so they can loop you in as the organization navigates the semester. A lot of organizations also have their social media linked on BullSync, so if you click that little Instagram or Facebook button, it'll take you right to their page. And don't be afraid to utilize direct messaging to get connected with an organization. A lot of organizations have social media chairs that manage their direct messages so that they can be on the lookout for new members who are looking for more information. can also get updates on their stories and posts relating to what they're working on. So if you just want to get a better sense of what an organization is doing in COVID times, this is a great place to start because a lot of them are posting every single day all of their exciting virtual events and their meetings. So it'll give you a good feel for who the organization really is. So let's say you browse all 700, and I will say this happens all the time. You can't find an organization that fits you or that you're really excited about. Well, you can make your own. So you just gather 10 members, so 10 friends, 10 people who live with you, whoever, and you secure a full-time faculty or staff advisor. You'll need a president, treasurer, and advisor to be approved. You'll get a constitution going, complete the registration form and the advisor information form on BullSync, and then you'll attend one of our new organization meetings that happens monthly. So if you miss the opportunity 1 month to start a new organization, you can start a new org at any point. So be on the lookout on the CLCE's BullSync page because we post those meetings all the time, and it'll just give you a rundown on how to be a successful organization on campus. So a big question that I know is probably on your mind is what will virtual involvement look like? So whether you're joining one of our existing organizations or starting up a new one, involvement looks a little bit different this year, and we know that, and we're trying to do as many things to help our organizations and our new members thrive in a virtual environment. So our organizations are still active and still looking for new members just like you. Organizations meet weekly or bi-weekly in general body meetings via Microsoft Teams, so you can be anywhere in the country and still be a member. A lot of fun things that I've seen organizations do is virtual game nights, speakers that they'll come, whether it's from CEOs of companies or people who are interested in the field that they're focusing on if it's an academic organization. They're also doing a lot of events and just staying connected and making friends. I definitely recommend if you're reaching out to an organization, see if they utilize a group chat. It's just a great way to stay connected. Some of them have their own specific Microsoft Teams page that they're posting updates on. Some of them utilize GroupMe, so just make sure that you ask that question because that's a really easy way to make a new friend. And I want to remind you all in this virtual environment, I know it's sometimes hard to not feel fatigued by all the video chats, but you're in control of how involved you are and how much time you invest into your organization. So I definitely think that it is an opportunity to really schedule in some fun time for yourself and also stay connected to people at USF that have the same interests as you. So for those of you who don't know, we are holding our virtual student organization fair this Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I just want to go over some tips and tricks on how to maximize your virtual fair experience. So from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., student organization leaders are going to be holding Teams meetings to help get connected with you one-on-one. So it's almost like a little drop-in office hours, so you can pop in. There's going to be, right now we have about 50 organizations signed up, so there's going to be tons of different organizations. We really try to recruit organizations that have a lot of variety of categories, so then you have a chance to meet tons of different people. But it is our attempt at virtual tabling. So you'll log on to BullSync at 11 a.m. and you'll be able to see that the fair is going on. You'll just sign on in and then you can pick any organization, and when you click the link, it'll take you directly to their Teams meeting. If that's not your style and you're not really feeling like you want to be in a Teams meeting at that point, or if nobody's in the call because of availability, you can still leave a contact message similar to what we talked about earlier with the contact form for the organization. And it'll all go through BullSync, so there's no external sign-in or anything like that. It will just be there when you log on. It's really important to view this like a tabling event, so it's going to be similar to what you would picture a traditional student organization fair where there's tons of different people all excited to meet you. So this is really your time to put yourself out there, and if you're not interested in an organization that you pop into a Teams call with, it is not binding. You do not have to go to every meeting that they do, but it is just really your opportunity to put yourself out there a little bit. So you found some that you like. Again, what do you do now? So my recommendation is having a notebook or a piece of paper ready to write down the organizations that you loved, the ones that you can really see yourself being a member of. Maybe you had a really great conversation with someone, or maybe their description that they shared on BullSync just really aligns with you. Research the contact info and social media of all of the groups you're interested in. So again, you can check out their Instagram or Facebook pages while also getting a contact email so you can stay in the loop. Ask if they have a GroupMe, a Facebook group, or other resources to just help you get connected. And then attend their virtual general body meetings. One thing I want to emphasize is just because you attend an initial meeting does not mean you are locked into the organization. It is okay to go to a meeting, try it out, and not go back. It's really trial and error. Obviously, we encourage you to go to general body meetings because usually they're really fun, but it is okay to try out a couple different involvements because involvement in college looks a lot different than involvement in high school. In high school, you may have been involved in 5, 10 different organizations. In college, it's really important to find the ones that mean the most to you and put a lot of your energy into those few. Again, as we talked about before, that blue button will automatically add you to their roster. So even if you're a tiny bit interested, definitely recommend joining because that's how you're going to get all of your updates. So that is all I have for you today. We can move into question and answer, but again, check out the CLC Bull Sync page. That February 17th date is coming soon, and we would really love to have all of you there.
Thank you, Kaylin, for all this great information. Now we're about to move into the question and answer portion. So if you all have not dropped any questions, feel free to go ahead and start. In the meantime, the first question is, the student says that they have about 5 to 6 people who do want to start an organization, and they are wondering how can they get up to 10 people?
Sure. So the 5 to 10 people or 5 to 6 people is a great start. Depending on the topic of your student organization, I would recommend possibly reaching out to folks that are in the same department as you. So your academic major. I know sometimes in Teams calls, it's hard to actually connect with people. But if you have someone in your classes, or maybe that's living in the same space as you or on or off campus, just sending out that initial message to say, hey, I'm looking to start a group. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Another way to incentivize members is to also say, hey, I have a position in mind that would be great for you. So like I shared before, president and treasurer are the only mandatory positions for student organizations. So it really can't hurt to say, hey, do you want to be our social media chair or do you want to be our events chair? Because that will give them the opportunity to feel like you value their membership in the organization.
All right, cool. So next question is, how can I manage being an organization member and a student?
Sure. So I think I touched upon it a tiny bit before, but like we shared, involvement in high school and involvement in previous portions of your life and things that you may have done before coming to USF looks a lot different. Responsibilities change big time when you're a college student. So it's really about prioritizing things. I always say that when you're making your weekly calendar or you're doing something to keep yourself organized, factoring in that fun time is going to be important. So identifying organizations that already fit into your schedule and understanding that level of commitment while also keeping yourself organized in your classes. I think also the involvement opportunities are just as beneficial sometimes as the coursework you're doing. So finding that balance and investing in just a few to start off. I know some students who are only involved in one organization and they feel like that organization has given them the opportunity to grow as a person. So it's okay to just start off with one because there are a lot of opportunities and it's going to be a little overwhelming if you try to join 4 or 5 at first.
Yeah, in my personal experience, in my first semester, I definitely know that I wanted to get involved as possible. So I did intramural soccer, and I also did fencing, believe it or not. And so I just kind of like something that was neat with it, with like if you want to do like sports or whatnot, like there's like, you know, making sure that it aligns with your schedule, and like Kaylin mentioned before, just prioritization is really, really important. You know, your students, so classes are always going to come first, but definitely just time management and just you know, having a planner or a whiteboard of some sort, just kind of like creating a schedule really helps with just being able to tackle everything that you have. Because like she said, being in college, you have a great deal of responsibilities, but just, you know, figuring out that routine can definitely get you through it, and you can definitely be able to, you know, get involved in a variety of ways.
Yeah, so they all have said, or they both have said some really good things. I would just like to add that I think the biggest thing when it comes to like students getting involved in organizations is not getting too involved with as many as you can at the beginning. Just because like I know coming from high school, I had a bunch of different interests and everything like that. And I just knew coming right off the back and thinking like, oh, I want to join this org and I want to join this and I want to join this, it wasn't going to work out for me. So I know for me, I personally took that first semester to just get grounded with school. And then from there on, I decided to pick and choose. And then it just so happened that at one point I found myself involved in 5 different orgs, but then I realized I wasn't putting forth the same effort in these other orgs as much as I was in these other 2. And so I found myself falling back and then finding leadership positions in those later 2 organizations. And those are the ones that I prioritize, like we talked about with our time, as well as we have with school and everything like that. And so crazy thing is I'm going to finish that off and now lead us into the next question. And so this student said they feel overwhelmed by the amount of things that they can do here. So they asked, how can they find the best organization that is for them?
So I definitely think it's a little bit of trial and error. And I would definitely start off with research. I feel like people tend to just jump into the first thing that looks interesting to them. And with so many options, looking up things that you know that you love. So whether that is what Gabe was sharing with sports, if you love sports, start there and just see the opportunities that we have. And I definitely think that one thing I've noticed is it's okay to try something and not love it. So if you are going to general body meetings or initial interest meetings and it's not aligning with you, try something different and go to another meeting next week. So I think that helps people really figure out exactly what is going to enhance their college career rather than just trying to load on anything that sparks interest. But I would start with doing some research. And I'm not going to plug it a million times, but I think the fair really is a good opportunity. I also do want to share that if you are on campus or if you find yourself sometimes walking around, Bull Market is back up and running. So on Wednesdays, I believe it's 11 to 1. I'm not 100, I think so. On Wednesdays, we have 10 organizations every week that are tabling in person with CDC guidelines and COVID safety in mind, but that's a great way to just see who's out there and actually put a face to an organization. So yeah, start with research, but put yourself out there a little bit too.
So the next question we got is, I was really involved in high school. How can I get involved at USF?
Similar to what Ebony and Gabe shared, it's important to figure out what did you actually love in high school. So I think that a lot of people just lean on, hey, I did this before, I need to do this now. And this is really the chance to try something different. I always recommend aligning things with what you want to do with your life. And if you don't know yet, this is a chance to explore different career paths and different opportunities connecting to what you're studying. But I definitely would take the PAL's advice to heart and not overload yourself your first semester or your first year. Because even if you are interested in something and you're not a member of the organization like that, you're still able to attend different events and different things on campus. So your cup's going to get filled in some capacity in some way along your time at USF. So definitely recommend starting small and adding as you go.
Thank you for that. This next question is, the student said, how can my student organizations help me reach my career goals?
So similarly to the last question, we have a lot of academic and pre-professional organizations on campus, which I think is exciting because a lot of the time you're navigating classes by yourself. So especially if your first semester was virtual, it's just a nice space to have folks to talk through, like, what classes should I register for? How do I really be sure that this is the career path for me? But also the job and internship connections are out of this world. One example of an organization that I always see post insane Tampa big city internship opportunities is the Real Estate Society. They have internships that you can do with some of the top brokers in Florida as a freshman, as a sophomore, at any point in your college career. So I definitely would say not only does it help, pad your resume a little bit when it comes time to apply for some of these things, but you're building a network right off the bat of people who just have the same interests as you and who genuinely care and invest in your college career and your academics. So it definitely can get you really, really great places.
I also just wanted to add that there are definitely some career-specific organizations, but even in the non-career-specific organizations, you can find a lot of networking within people that you can go to this work to just like have fun with. So there's like even we talked about people who I for one play basketball. So even if I was going to play basketball, there's a chance that I can meet somebody who like plays basketball and also likes biomed. And then I've just found a way to network and see how other things have happened. So I think, and not only just the career specific ones, but in all like student orgs, you can find a way to network and find a way to just go towards your career field more so than just being in those career specific ones. And crazy thing is, it's my time to segment again. Woo! So I'm back, and here's the next. Actually, is it my time? It's Gabe's time. That's crazy. I'm gonna take the show anyway. So this student asked, what leadership opportunities are available within student orgs at USF?
So talking a little bit about leadership opportunities, we touched upon it a little bit when it came to recruiting members to start a new organization, but there are only 2 positions that are required for a student organization to start up, president and treasurer. So those are 2 opportunities right there, but organizations really have the opportunity to customize the positions that exist within their organization to enhance their members' experience, but also fit their organization's needs. So some organizations have a risk management chair if they're a sport club and they're making sure that everybody's safe along the way. They have secretaries to keep minutes, and then other supporting financial officers to help the treasurer. Event planners, social media chairs, things like that that really can connect to personal interests. So I would say that it's a lot of leadership opportunities, but my favorite part of working, a little biased, working in the CLC is with student organizations. We are not allowing you really to take on a leadership role and just say, hey, figure it out by yourself. We really try to provide training for all of our leaders because we view student organizations as a leadership laboratory rather than just any other involvement. So I would say that if you're going to take on a leadership opportunity, connect with folks who have maybe held positions in other organizations to get their insight on the commitment part of it, but know that the CLC is going to be here to support you so that you can really thrive in this position.
So next up, we got, I've sent organizations DMs with no response. Is there another way to reach out to them?
Definitely, and more common than you think. Someone will send a DM and then 2 months later someone will answer. So as much as I pushed reaching out to them on social media, we have a record of every single president, every single officer within all of our student organizations. So I would definitely recommend emailing orgs@usf.edu and sending me which organization you are interested in, and then I can directly connect you with their president. Their primary contact also is listed, and all of their officers right on their Bolsing page. So instead of sending cold emails, if you're not comfortable with that, I'd be happy to send an initial email just to get you connected with someone from the group.
Alrighty, so that was actually the last question for the Q&A. So Kaylin, if there are any key points that you want to just kind of leave people with, some takeaways for this presentation.
Yeah, sure. I think the key takeaway is that as you hear from the PALs and you hear from other folks that you know that might be involved in student organizations already, every experience looks different. So you're not going to be involved in the same thing as everyone else. And I think that it's important when you're starting to search and starting to tap into student organizations, take this experience as something really personal because you're the one that's going to be attending the meetings and taking on leadership positions and really putting your all into it. So definitely recommend research and check out Bolsing. I don't know how many times I could say that, but you get the point. That's really going to be your hub for just getting connected, whether it's a student organization or a really great event on campus. That's just a great spot to get more information. So if you haven't checked it out, give it a shot, do some browsing, but know that we are always here at the CLC to connect you with any organization or any opportunity that you're looking for.
Okay, thank you for those questions, everyone. Hopefully this time was helpful for you to pick Kaylin's brain and the PAL's brains a little bit about how to tap into some really solid leadership opportunities with student organizations and how you can use those organizations to make some solid connections and build a community at USF. Thanks again to our pals, Ebony and Gabe, as well as to Kaylin Burns from the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement for helping us all to learn more about, again, how we can tap into these student organizations here at USF. To connect with the good folks over at the CLCE, their email is currently displayed in the center of your screen, clce@usf.edu. So if you have any questions about this presentation or anything in general that falls under anything leadership or civic engagement related, they are your go-tos, your best place to check out. So feel free to send them an email and they'll get back to you promptly. And to stay connected with us here at New Student Connections, you can follow us on Instagram at USF_NSC or email us at newstudent@usf.edu, both of which are currently displayed on your screen as well. For more information about these virtual chats and some other great opportunities for all Bulls this fall, please check out Go Bulls Guides app, where you can access the USF Student and Family Guide. Thank you all for joining us to learn more about how to college, and as always, go Bulls!